Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. Family of adopted Pt.2 girl Leah Sharibu appeals to the federal government to secure her release from Boko Haram captivity. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed denies reports of death of Leah Sharibu in social media, describing it as fake news. President Muhammadu Buhari asked Nigerians to give him another chance in a recorded message, just as his main contender, Atiku Abubakar, takes his campaign to the ancient city of Kano. And tens of thousands gather in Madrid for a protest by right-wing parties opposed to plans to ease the tension in the Catalonia region. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS devices from the respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV, Channels 24 app have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and please follow the instructions. The All Progressives Congress in Akwa Ibom has continued its tour of local government areas in the state to canvass for votes ahead of the general elections. The party's governorship flag bearer, Mr. Nsima Okere, speaking during the campaign tour, promises that his administration will initiate and execute projects geared towards comprehensive transformation of all local government areas in the state.
The APC governorship candidate Nsima Okere and his running mate Amadou Atai wave at the cheery crowd as they arrived at the campaign ground in Ibesupo, Asutan, in continuation of their engagement with residents of the state. Leaders of various groups in the area pledged their support for the candidates.
Here comes a man that who has lived all his life, a man that has lived in Akwa Ibom State enough to know the problems of our people.
Mr. Okere is formally presented to the people as the party's governorship flag bearer, and he unfolds his plans to them.
We cannot afford another 4 years of a failed government. On the 16th of February and on the 2nd of March, make sure you go out and vote for APC.
The campaign trail moves to Nsitibom, and party faithful turn out in their numbers to receive the team. The reception was pretty much the same at Etina local government area, where the APC candidate promised to create wealth, empower businesses, as well as build a network of roads.
The dualized road all the way from Ibadan to Eket, from Eket to Etinan to Uyo, we will come and ensure that we use a first-class construction company to do this road for you, and then end up with the flyover, get that roundabout.
In spite of the nightfall, supporters of Mr. Okere in Nsitibom still came out, while Victor Ishiet of the Mandators fame thrilled the crowd. The campaign trail of the APC in Akwa Ibom State hopes to visit more local government areas of the state in the days leading to the presidential and governorship elections.
Elsewhere, the governorship candidate of the Action Alliance Party in Imo State, Uche Nwosu, has promised to revamp the agricultural sector and also ensure that all primary and secondary schools in the state are ICT-based if elected into office. Mr. Nwosu disclosed this while campaigning at the Abombise local government area of Imo State, where he also promised the expansion of some key roads. The sound of campaign blaring into Abombise local government area of Imo State, southeast Nigeria, as the candidate of the Action Alliance, Uche Nwosu, whose ambition is to be the next governor of the state. His presence is welcomed by supporters of the party. After the party chant, the candidate spells out good times for the people if elected.
Once I take office, we shall start the realization of this road from here to Ahera Junction, and I will do it. I want to be a governor that will make Imo State an agricultural hub in Nigeria.
A demonstration of what lies ahead is presented.
I want 10 women, honorable. You are going to give me 10 women that by tomorrow you are going to liaise with the DG. My own empowerment will get to them tomorrow. 10 women.
The turnout has raised confidence on the chances of Mr. Nwosu winning the election.
Free education from the primary to the tertiary level is a thing. The women, more especially, the widows and the masses, take with a very high sense of gratitude.
At Bombise, you can see the multitude crowd. You don't need anybody to tell you that Ugumba have taken over Imo State.
The people, however, have their hopes for the candidate.
The galloping roads to make it motorable so that it will help the farmers to carry out their products.
I want Uche Nwosu to rebuild our school. She give us free education.
The presentation of other aspirants ends the tour, and with days left before the election proper, the support received here will raise optimism that victory is attainable. In Ogun State, the governorship candidate of the Allied People's Movement, APM, Adekunle Akinlade, says he will be fair to all if elected as governor of the state. Speaking during his ward-to-ward campaign in Shagamu local government area of the state, Mr. Akinlade says his administration will ensure that all citizens of the state feel the impact of government regardless of their religious and political affiliations.
Traditional groups, Muslim and Christian faithful, and members of the community from ward to ward in Shagamu local government area in attendance to welcome the governorship candidate of the Allied People's Movement, APM, in Ogun State, Adekunle Akinlade. Addressing the on the need to vote him as the next governor of the state, Mr. Akinlade explains that his will be an all-inclusive government.
I will run government fairly. I will be fair to all sections of the state, regardless of religion. But Christians, any other religion, I will be fair.
Also speaking on the infrastructural development and the provision of facilities across the state, which has been a major challenge, chieftain of the party assures the residents that the best is yet to come.
What the current administration has done is to reopen the road leading to the community and begin to invest in the community. Voting for APM is a guarantee of continuity. It's a guarantee that the mandate to deepen the agricultural base, the economic base of the state will be achieved.
Basically, it will be the provision of the basic social amenities, which I think I've been trying to do before now, and I'm still doing, that I'll still continue doing.
The name of our party is APM.
The APM candidate also inaugurated a control center in Shagamu, which is expected to serve as a quick response unit where all crucial issues concerning the elections will be addressed. The APM is spreading in structure and membership as it hopes to coast the victory in the forthcoming elections, which is barely a few days away.
And just away from the campaigns, elder statesman Chief Edwin Clark is insisting on restructuring as the only solution to Nigeria's survival and development. Chief Clark compares the urgency of the need to eliminate corruption in the country to that of restructuring, saying this will allow regions to develop competitively without necessarily relying on the centre. He also asked Nigerians to cast their votes for a presidential candidate that truly believes in restructuring. Mr. Clark was speaking at a reception of some South-South politicians at his residence in Abuja.
The president said, if we do not destroy corruption in Nigeria, corruption will destroy us. And I am saying, if we do not restructure this country will not survive. Yes. As a country. In every civilized country, election is the deciding factor. Nobody forces himself on you. You go to the poll and vote. But if anybody wants to turn this country into places where, particularly in the Middle East of the world, where you do not vote, either a prince is handing over to another prince. We are past that stage in this country. Yes.
Well, let's take you back to the story, and that's campaigns now. The Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano today that played host to the PDP presidential rally with a huge turnout of party faithful, even such that the presidential candidate could not address the crowd. We hear also that over 12 persons were taken out of the stadium by security officials after they slumped. Well, the party's presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, and members of the Presidential Campaign Council on arrival in Kano visited Mambiya House, home of the late leader of the People's Redemption Party, Aminu Kano. And from there, they visited the palace of the Emir of Kano, who received them, praying for peaceful elections. Visuals of a huge turnout there. But when the News at 10 returns, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, orders watertight security across INEC offices nationwide. Please join us again.